Well, good day. Thanks again for joining. This is episode 5 of Q and CCA. We're thrilled again to have winners joining us on this platform. I'm thrilled that we have a couple more winners, and this truly is coast to coast. I'm going to allow who's joined us today to introduce themselves, but this is going to be a special episode, and I'm thrilled that they're here and you're here to participate in it as well. So why don't I hand it over, and ladies first. Keri, why don't I allow introduce yourself, and then Mark, you can jump in after.
Okay, hi, thank you. My name is Keri Kao. Along with my husband Andy, we own Musically Inclined, which is a teaching studio and a retail store in Conception Bay, South Newfoundland, which is about 25 minutes away from St. John's. And we are a 6-time CCA award winner.
Wow, great. Mark?
Wow. I am Mark Hirschi, and I am from Vancouver, British Columbia. I am the owner of Salmon's Transfer, where we are the packer, moving, and storage fulfillment for all of the Canadians and North Americans. We do international as well too, and we are a 4-time winner.
Terrific. Well, coast to coast. We're Vancouver to St. John's, so this is exciting. Thank you. So I guess good morning, Mark, and good afternoon, Keri. It's noon in Toronto as I'm doing this. So this is great. Today, I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions, and perhaps we'll sort of shape our answers to as it relates to the different phases and stages. So, Mark, I'm gonna turn it to you first. As we, whether it's pre-COVID into the past 8 weeks, or as you prepare for doors to reopen, how have you been marketing and advertising during these stages, and how have things changed for you as you now prepare for life to return to normal?
When COVID first broke out, we weren't even too sure if, as a moving company, we were going to be an essential worker. Servicing a lot of residential homes, offices, everything was on the up and down to what's going to happen with offices. Are they going to close down? Does anybody want to be allowed in someone's house? So one of the first things we did was allocate as many face masks, gloves. We sat down with the team and said, what do we need? How are we going to sanitize the customers' homes and or offices? We worked with some of our clients in what they were looking for on a regular basis, so that as we were approaching and getting started, which of course was about spring break, middle of March, when things really broke out in Canada and in BC, the protocols, and trying to then initiate our employees on following those protocols and having these new expectations that we had to follow.
Great. And as you now prepare, hopefully for the next stage or the next phase, is there anything that you're communicating to potentially a customer base as you hopefully remarket yourself or get your name out there to the public?
Yeah, one of the first things that we made sure we did was a press release on our website. We hit up Instagram, social media, Facebook, Twitter, everything you can think of to show that we had gloves, masks, and which way we were going to go and approach the situation. So everybody online could at least see what was happening at Salmon's Transfer and how we were trying to be taking care of our employees and taking care of the people that we were going to go and see.
Well, with marketing and advertising, we have been relying heavily on Facebook at this time. We have a pretty active Facebook page. So on our general page, we were communicating things to our students, such as when we actually had to physically close our doors, which was a difficult time, and we had to move everything online. So that transition was a bit difficult, but we've managed and we've adapted. So we've been kind of communicating through email and Facebook. I actually set up a private Facebook page to keep our online students interested and engaged. We've been having weekly challenges to encourage the students to take part in giving away little prizes. And we're actually going to have, we were gearing up all year long for our 25th anniversary recital. And sadly, that's not happening. So it's very sad, but we're hoping we can do it later in the year. So at this time, we've changed it into a virtual recital. So we're going to do Zoom recitals and have an opportunity for the students to all post their videos on our Facebook page. So the students are pretty excited about that. So we've had to adapt, and we've been relying on social media.
Well, that's
and technology,
great.
technology, of course.
You know, and so Keri, maybe right back to you with, you know, those are drastic changes from, you know, recitals to lessons where perhaps whatever instrument it may be, there is a close intimacy between the teacher and the student, with, you know, almost hands-on. I think back to myself as a young kid taking piano lessons, you know, almost, you know, hands on my hands, right, as I was doing that. And you know, these are new changes. So, you know, as you've overcome that obstacle, has it been a positive for you in any way and for your business?
There hasn't been a whole lot of positives, to be honest. But having said that, there is an interesting dynamic to the online lessons. Is kind of forcing the students to be a little bit more independent. So they're having to put their hands in the right positions, as you said. You know, I'm very used to taking my children's hands and physically putting them where they need to be. So they're becoming more independent. They're putting their own markings in their music. You know, you have to be very clear with your instructions, and the student can take the instructions and work with that. So I do find it's made them more independent. And actually, a couple of odd little benefits that we certainly weren't expecting was that we actually had one student move hours away in the middle of the pandemic, moved hours away. But because we've been doing our lessons over Zoom, she was able to continue doing her lessons with her teacher. And they've actually said that they're going to continue to do this long term, even though they're moved away. They're going to continue with their teacher, which is fantastic. And actually on our Facebook page, we had an acquaintance of mine, a Facebook friend, saw that we were doing online lessons, and we now have a student from Whitehorse taking lessons with one of our voice teachers because she saw what we were doing, and she said, you know, I've always wanted to do voice lessons. Do you think I could do it? So I set her up with one of our teachers, and it's been going great. So a couple of unexpected benefits that you wouldn't necessarily think would happen.
Yeah, and as they post, you know, their singing and their accomplishments on their social media feeds, make sure they mention your company, because now you're branching out into whole other audiences, and there you go. I mean, you're no longer limited geographically. I think that's cool. That's great.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You know, over to you, Mark. You know, right back to a different industry, but have you seen any positives to your industry, that, you know, changes that you now feel you're in it for the long term? And are any of those changes, do you see any positives in this?
Yes, it definitely has been a little bit of an eye opener to see how the office has adapted to the change. When everything broke out, we had to see a little bit of layoffs in our office per se, just to try and make things work. And what we did notice was the teamwork that came together, and the adaptability to now switch. So our moving consultants are now doing online estimates, a lot more FaceTime, Zoom meetings with customers. We're finding having a little bit more flexibility with the moving calculators and the detailed forms that we present to customers has allowed our moving consultants not to have to be driving around everywhere into someone's house, where we're getting the same information and the same flexibility. It's also allowed customers to have evening appointments or early morning appointments where our moving consultants can work out of their office or out of their home as well too. We've also seen the need where the phone systems can not have to be answered by a receptionist, but we can have more of a digital based, more online. We're definitely adapting to the new methods as best as possible, but definitely we're seeing a lot of more positives out of this.
Wow, that's great. Thanks for sharing. You know, as you both were speaking, something came to mind from the last episode I did. We had another gentleman from Vancouver on episode 4, and something he mentioned that, you know, small to medium-sized enterprises are resilient by nature. And, you know, hearing you both share what you've done to sort of adapt and adjust, yeah, I'm really, really impressed. And, you know, looking for positives or ways that you can adapt your business in for the long term and hopefully continue to grow that bottom line. I think that's really admirable and inspiring. So, really thank you both for sharing. And I really hope that as everyone sort of lives in fear and some what is tomorrow going to look like. Hearing how you guys have adapted and looking at the positives is inspiring. So thank you both for sharing. Now I'm going to turn it right back to Consumer Choice a little bit, but I'd like to hear from you both. I like to believe that right now as a consumer, there is no greater time to have that reinforcement of that purchase decision when looking for a company. I like to think that as a business, there's been no more of an important time to have that differentiator from your competitors. So being a Consumer Choice Award-winning company, aligning yourself with this logo, what has it meant for your businesses over the past couple of months? So why don't we, Keri, I'll start with you.
Okay, well, we are extremely honored to be a Consumer Choice Award winner. We're always happy every year to hear that we're another winner again, 6 times in a row. It's a big honor to us. It does mean a lot to us. And it's something that's voted by consumers. So it's kind of giving a little vote of confidence to know that the customer, the student is making the right decision about where to come. And there's a lot of competition around, so it kind of sets us apart a little bit from the others. And we like to have that stamp of approval there, that logo, that nice little shiny red ribbon to say that yes, we are a Consumer Choice Award winner, and you can be confident about your choice.
Great, thank you. And Mark, I'm curious about your industry.
Yeah, to follow off what Keri said, to win any award for any in your company is an amazing achievement from your employees that have worked vigorously, and having clients reciprocate that to being awarded anything. Winning a Consumer Choice Award, I've always found, is huge, especially in Canada. It's a very well recognized name, and so we wear it very proudly. We have the stickers on our front doors. We want to make sure it's on our websites. We try and advertise it as much as possible because it is a highly recognized award.
Thank you both for sharing. Today was great. I wish I was taking notes faster, and I can't wait to go back and look at this again, because I really want to underscore, I felt there was a couple of things that you guys shared that was really great. A couple of themes that you guys mentioned right from the top when I talked about, how you've adjusted or adapted during these phases and stages. But a constant theme was on both of your industries was how quick you were to communicate to your customers. And whether it was just, as you related, Mark, right away on your website about your safety measures and addressing through social media on your end, Keri, to your students and parents as well, and using those platforms, and how you both adjusted. I think that is great for everyone to hear. So thank you both. I really, really enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing the finished product and seeing where this is going to go. If you'd like to participate in the next episode, well, I'd love to hear from you. The queue of companies wanting to participate is getting long, but I'm going to squeeze everyone in for sure. As we move forward, I've asked a lot of questions about how people have adapted over this, this pandemic over the past couple months. I'd like to, for the next ones, the next couple, start to get a little more specific. I want to hear some really good tactics that you've used, whether it's online advertising, your communication pieces, how just tactics specific, how you have really helped your business that you feel would be a great insight for the rest of the winners to know. So you can email me anytime, and I'd love to have you participate in this. So once again, Mark and Keri, thank you so much for taking the time out of your
Thanks,
day.
Jeff.
And, thank you.
Yeah. And as I mentioned to everyone, I can't wait to see you both live and in person, hopefully very soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Sounds great.
Okay, guys, have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
You too.
Okay, bye.